Nice meeting you again with Ma'am Eka here on the material of listening for proficiency tasks. On today's learning, we will discuss the topic of part C listening. Before I start, I will greet you by saying Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, for the material of listening for proficiency tests, especially to continue after last week, you learned about part B listening, that is about longer conversation. And now you are going to learn for the continuing listening, but on part C listening. On the partC listening here, you will listen about lecture, talk, or monologue. So, for the objective of the study, for this lesson, after you learned about this material, 1. You are able to identify some questions related to the talk, to the speaker's talk, and to the speaker's monologue, and to the speaker's lecture. And secondly, you can try to answer the questions from WH questions and also how questions related to the lecture, monologue, or the talk. And then the 4 questions, you are going to choose the best answer from the 4 possible responses that are suitable with the talk or the lecture. And now, before we come to the audio, Eka will deliver first about the tips that you are going to do in a listening part C. Okay, related to part C here, part C is discussing about short lecture, monologue, and the talk. And then the tips that you have to do, there are 4 tips that you have to do. 1. If you have a time, look at the answer choices listed on the question sheet. So, you have to pay attention first on the choices on the question sheets. This is the first tip. And then the second tips, beware of talking in the first sentence because that will usually be the topic for the subsequent sentences. Okay? And then the tips is focus your listening on the matters related to 5 WH questions and how questions. The 4 tips, make a conclusion on the situation that occurred when the conversation was held. Next, those are the 4 tips that you have to do before listening practice. And then, for part C here, usually a lecture, a monologue, or a talk includes 140 to 290 words long and lasts about 40 up to 80 seconds in one lecture, one monologue, or one talk. And then the topic from part C listening is more academic than part B or part A. And then the questions here will be the same with part B listening. There are 4 questions will be delivered after the lecture, after the monologue, and the talk. So you have to answer 4 questions for each lecture or each talk. You also need to pay attention You need also to pay attention to the numbers contained in this monologue or a lecture. So you have to pay attention on that. Yeah, related to the numbers when the speaker is delivering his or her lecture, his or her talk. Okay, I will try to give you some examples here. Some examples of questions that are frequently heard in part C. Those are like the main ideas questions, the details questions, purpose questions, and implications questions. Those are the questions that are frequently heard in part C listening. Okay, now we come to the examples of the question. The first is about the main ideas questions on part C listening. For example, like 1. What is the main idea of the talk? The second, what is the talk mainly about? Number 3, what is the speaker discussion? What would be a good title for this lecture? And what is the main topic of the talk? Okay, those are the questions are related to the main ideas questions. And now we come to the details question. What are the some questions frequently heard? Yeah, or some questions are delivered by the authors on the audio. The details questions include 1. What does the speaker say about blah 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 blah? 2. What does the lecturer want? Or what does the speaker want? Number 3. What is the speaker describing? 4. What does the speaker suggest about blah 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 blah? Okay, this one is on details questions. And now we come to the purposes questions. What are the questions from the purposes questions? 1. Why did blah 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 blah? Or why is blah 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 blah? This is the purposes. And then the next question, why does the speaker think blah 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 blah? Or why does can be the man and the woman think blah 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 blah? Okay. The 4 questions. Why does the speaker mention blah 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 blah? Okay, that's one. And now we come to the last question. Those are the questions about implication. Yeah, almost the same with the problems on implication when we learn listening on part A listening. But in part C listening, for example, like this. 1. What does the speaker imply about blah 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 blah? Number 2, what does the speaker infer about blah 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 blah? Number 3, what does the speaker mean when he or she says blah 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 blah? Okay, that's it. That is about some questions, yeah, are frequently heard on the listening partC. And now there are some other questions too. You also may be asked to pick out the correct drawing from what was described in the words. And also, you may be asked to match two concepts together. And then you also may be asked to determine the sequence of events. And then you also may be asked to categorize certain concepts. This is on part C, listening. And now you are going to listen for the example of one audio. Ueka will deliver one audio about a news report. Please listen to the audio, and before you listen, Ueka will give you some choices related to the 4 questions from the authors. The authors on the audio will ask you 4 questions, and then Bueka just gives you the choices related to the 4 questions. Okay, take a look first on the first question choices. This one. A, B, C, D. For number 1. A, the central gallery. B, the storerooms. C, the gift shop. And D, the furnace room. We come to the second question choices. A, several works of art. B, the museum grounds. C, 19 frescoes. D, the foundation. We come to number 3. The choices are the store next door, the central heating. C, the main part of the museum. And D, a fresco. Number 4 choices. Come to the 4 choices. The choices are A, they were more than the museum could afford. B, they are covered by insurance. C, they will cause a rise in admission prices. D, they are not known yet. Okay, from the 4 choices here, there are 4 questions and then 4 choices for each question. Please try to read for a while for all choices and then listen to the audio. Ueka will play the audio twice, so you can pay attention on the audio. Listen now.
Part C. Directions. In this part of the test, you will hear several short talks. After each talk, you will hear some questions. The talks and the questions will not be repeated. After you hear a question, read the 4 possible answers in your book and choose the best answer. Then, on your answer sheet, find the number of the question and fill in the space that corresponds to the letter of the answer you have chosen. Now we will begin Part C with the first talk. Questions 39 through 42. Listen to a news report.
Dozens of valuable paintings and frescoes were badly damaged today when rainwater poured through a roof at the State Museum. As freak rainstorms lashed the central and southern sections of the state, part of the museum's roof, which was scheduled to be repaired, collapsed, and water cascaded into 2 storerooms. The museum director said that several well-known pieces, including oils, watercolors, and frescoes, had been damaged, although only one object, a 19th century fresco, was damaged beyond repair. She added that inspection for damage has not been completed, and therefore she could not estimate costs of repair and replacement.
Question number 39.
What part of the museum flooded?
Question number 40.
What was damaged?
Question number 41.
What cannot be restored?
Question number 42.
What did the director say about the cost of damages?
Okay, after you listen to the audio for twice, I hope that you can catch the answer. And now we are going to discuss together about the answer from the 4 questions from the author. What is the best choice related to the 4 questions based on the news report audio? Okay, students, take a look for number 1 with the question, what part of the museum flooded? Okay, when you take a look on the choices here, please try to find the keywords on the audio. The keyword is on water cascaded into 2 storerooms. Can you listen this statement? So, the best choice for number 1 is B, the storeroom. Okay? Now we come to number 2. For number 2, the questions from the author is, what was damaged? Okay? With the 4 choices here, please take a look and find the keyword from the audio. What is the keyword? The keyword is dozens of valuable paintings and frescoes were badly damaged. This is the key statement for number 2 question. So, what was damaged? The best answer for the second number is A, several works of art. Because there are valuable paintings and frescoes. Yeah, this one, the valuable paintings, the same with valuable paintings are similar to several works of art. Okay, We come to number 3. Check your answer again. What is number 3 choice? The questions from the author for number 3 is what cannot be restored? What cannot be restored? Have you found the keyword from these questions related to the 4 choices? The keyword is on a 19th century fresco was damaged beyond repair. This is the keyword from the question. So, what is the best answer from number 3 questions? D, a fresco. Okay. Number 4, the last questions from the audio, from the authors. The questions from the author is, what did the director say about the cause of damage? So, can you underline the keywords from the audio? What is that? The keyword from this question and also from the 4 choices related from the question is, she could not estimate cost of repair. Could not estimate cost of repair. So, what does it mean? The correct choice is D. They are not known yet. Okay, students, this is the examples of partC listening. Yeah, so we still discuss about one talk with a news report, and there are so many other talk or lecture, but we are going to practice by using the link below on the description of this audio. I just give you one example and also how to answer the questions from the author on partC listening. After you learn about this topic, for partC listening of the proficiency task, especially for the TOEFL, don't forget to put a comment on this video by writing about the tips of answering the test. So, what are the tips? Please write down on the comments in answering for partC listening. Remember, use your own sentences or paraphrase the sentences. Don't try to copy-paste for my sentences. Try to find another sentences which has the same meaning with my sentence related to the tips of understanding partC listening. Thank you very much, my student, and thanks for your watching. Thanks for your attention. Have a nice day. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye.